Good morning, everyone. My name is Twane Ahorangi Bartlett, and I am a violet ray twin flame from Parakai, New Zealand. I have moved residence and I have been a bit quiet. My office is a little bit noisier because I'm living next to a busy road, but I'm so happy to be able to connect with you again. And today I would like to talk about fear of love. Um, this would be especially bringing a bit more clarity to what the matrix twin is going through, but it is also about the awakened twin as well. But before I start, I want to thank everybody for liking and subscribing my channel and for leaving comments and connecting and sharing your journey. I do believe that it is through speaking to each other and knowing that we're not alone that it helps us to go through this journey a little bit easier. It makes it a little bit easier knowing that we're not alone. So the fear of love. It sort of starts in the childhood because if my point of view is that on the day we're born, we come into this world fully capable of loving unconditionally, and we trust. Uh, and everything is perfect in our little world, as a baby. But it is as we grow up and through the experiences that we have concerning the type of parenting that we are exposed to, um, like that is sort of where we struggle, okay? Because the lessons that we learn in our very, very first memories from our parents is where the issues of low self-esteem is created. Because, say, in the case of, and I'm speaking in a very general um, uh, perspective here, because everybody has their own experiences. We have our own stories to tell. But low self-esteem stems from being scolded by parents and thinking that, or arriving at the conclusion that our parents are withdrawing their love from us. And from that perspective, we develop the fear of not being good enough and the fear of being abandoned, not being worthy of love. And so we go into a mode where we want to protect ourselves because we hurt. And I'm saying we, but I can speak about myself. And I'm not revealing my twin flame journey here because I respect my twin. I love my twin. You're just going to have to trust me on this when I say that I am a twin flame, and that the experiences that I'm bringing here is my own experiences. Okay, so when we go into the fear of love programming, which brings about the belief that we're not good enough for love and that we're not worthy of love, bringing the protection. Now, how do I protect myself? I hide parts of myself. I hide thoughts and I hide feelings. And I have found that I judge myself harshly because I want to be normal and I want to fit in. But because of my past experiences, it didn't feel like I was worthy of fitting in or good enough to fit in into society, into circles, into groups. Now, there's two ways that I sort of realized by speaking to people. These two ways that I cope and that some people cope with not fitting in. The first one, and this is my preferred one, is to put myself in isolation. I don't fit in, so I choose to stay in isolation. I don't socialize. At the moment, I'm just doing heart solutions, and that's the beginning and the end of my day. I don't have friends. I'm not social at all. Okay, so that is fear of love. That's what I'm going through. And the other methods that some people use is, and maybe I do this to a certain extent as well, that is to blend in. So if I am forced to go to a social gathering of some kind, like a birthday, and I want to be polite and I want to do the right thing, I'll say, okay, well, I'll go, but I'll make sure that I'll blend in. Okay, and that is to do the acceptable things socially, to say the acceptable things socially, so that you can sort of just navigate your way through my way through that very murky waters of being socially acceptable and the need to fit in. Now, why is it that twins, the awakened twin as well as the matric twin, has a love of fear? Because love requires vulnerability. There's no holding back in love. And love requires honesty and truthfulness. It requires you to say, this is me, this is who I am. And to say, I'm not going to put myself into isolation anymore. I'm not going to avoid people or issues. I'm not going to avoid love. And I'm not going to pretend to fit in. And put the rawness, the core of who you are, opening that up to somebody. Okay? And the reason why there's this war between the need to protect, but at the same time the need to love and to be loved. The protection side comes from our mind. Our brain is wired to protect ourselves for survival. Okay, so that is your run and flight. Your flight and stay mode. Fight or flight, that's the word, that's what I was looking for. And your heart, to be able to love, is going against that grain. It's saying, you can't run and you can't fight. Love is about making yourself vulnerable. And so it is and this is where the key is when I say that our twins come in to heal us. It is to release that programming of survival, because it's through our twin triggering us and healing us, so that I don't feel that I need anything, that I have everything inside of me that I need, and it doesn't matter what other people think or what they say about me, because I know that I am good as I am. And the ego wants to preserve. The ego contains all the memories. That's the mental programming, all the memories of the past, of the hurts and the wounds that I carry. That's in here. But it is through balancing the ego, okay, to say, well, that's in the past, this is now. And we have all sorts of different excuses when our mind is telling us, to love is unsafe, you're making yourself vulnerable, you're showing too much of your feelings. You're showing too much of your heart and your inner being. Okay? And the mind will tell you, well, who am I to think that I'm worthy of love? Who am I to think that this person could love me? Because you don't, I mean, if you were special, you've got something to lose, isn't it? If you have love, you can lose it. That's what the mind is also saying. So we have to choose whether we want to make ourselves vulnerable, okay? And it is, and sometimes what we do also as a safety mechanism, and this is where the twin flame comes in. I'm going to be really full on here today, okay? Twin flame for self-preservation. Loving to the awakened twin, loving a matrix twin who is running, who's not in your life. To love somebody who is totally emotionally and physically unavailable to you. That's a safety zone. That is to say, oh, well, I'm in love with so-and-so, I'm not open to any other relationships, and this is just the way it is. Do we perhaps use the twin flame as a band-aid on old wounds that we don't want to heal? Okay, that's for the awakened twin. And for the matrix twin, asking the question, is it possible that this person could love me? I'm not lovable. Love hurts. I'm not worthy of love. It's a waste of time. It only brings disappointment. So these are the type of questions that we really have to ask ourselves, both the matrix twin and the awakened twin. Because it is through loving somebody who's not available and who's not in our life that we also refuse to address issues inside of ourselves. Why am I caught up in this connection where there's nothing forthcoming? Okay, and now another question is, and this is, I think this is the one that I was really wanting to ask, is, say in our twin flame union, we are triggered, we're here to heal ourselves, we're doing the work, and we're picking up our pieces, we're going back to our childhood, and say, okay, say we get to a stage where we are healed, you know, I'm quite happy to be where I'm at. I'm at peace. So if the ego has been balanced out and we're not in fear of love anymore, and we are fully whole and balanced in our mental, emotional, physical, spiritual energies, then why would we need to be with somebody then? Because if we love ourselves unconditionally and accept ourselves for who we are, and we feel safe, and you know, we can express ourselves and go out because we pretty much say, well, this is me, you know, if you don't like it, lump it, move on, go somewhere else, you know, the sun shines there for everybody. If you want to, you know, sort of, well, that's my kind of attitude, like, you know, this is me, I'm at peace with myself. So if we are fully healed, why would we then still have the need to be with somebody? It is because we are created in the image of God. And God is a being of love. That is our true nature. At the core of who we are, from the day we were born, we are designed to love. We are designed to express love and be loved, whether you're in a twin flame connection or not. Okay, whether it's soulmate, doesn't matter. There can be 101 excuses to not love. Like, my soulmate or my twin flame is different religious points of views. My twin flame or soulmate is a lot older than I am. My twin flame or soulmate is same sex. I'm discovered I'm all of a sudden lesbian or gay. What a dilemma. My twin is just not into me. You know, there is a lot of healing to be done, let's face it. But at the end of the day, we are designed to love and express love. And that is the reason why once we've picked up our pieces, once we run out of excuses to protect ourselves, because that is where the true power lies, is when we protect ourselves, or we're running, or we don't want to address issues inside of ourselves. That is fear, that is avoiding stuff, because we don't want to go there. But it is when we start to pick up our pieces and heal ourselves, because we're triggered by our twins to do it, it's then when we become whole. And it is from that whole being, that being of love, our true nature, that is when we start to experience true love. And it starts with loving yourself first. And through accepting the fact that it is safe to love, you can love. And there are honest people out there who needs to be loved as well. But specifically with the twin flame, my experience in twin flame is that if it's a soulmate connection that you are in, and a soulmate is showing you that you need to heal yourself, and I'm talking soulmates here, okay? Once it is being in love with somebody and they don't love you back for whatever reason, and over a number of years, you know, your perspective changes, where you eventually decide, okay, well, you know, this is not going to work. I'd rather be available to another connection where I can be loved, okay, for soulmates. And that means that once you've reached that point where you're willing to move on from that relationship where all these issues were triggered about not feeling good enough or unworthy of love, and that in the physical world that we live in, that you never got to share your life with that person that you loved so much, but through that came the healing to the point where you can actually say, okay, well, I'm going to move on, and I'm open to be loved by somebody, and I'm willing to love. And that's sort of like a soulmate connection. And the difference between soulmate and twin flame is that once we've received the healing from each other and we're fully balanced, because twin flame is a spiritual connection, it is not a romantic connection. You still feel that undercurrent of infinite belonging and infinite unconditional love for my twin. That is, I cannot explain it. It's inexplicable. I don't have the words to say that even in this place where I am, that yes, I choose isolation, but it's because I'm focusing on heart solutions. I'm focusing on helping people. I'm in the radiant stage. I'm devoting myself to my twin flame mission. And that is one of the reasons why I am in isolation, is because I'm focused. And if I wasn't this focused, I wouldn't be making this video. And it is through it all, through that process of being triggered, going into crisis, coming into surrender, going back into crisis again, coming out of it, moving into radiance. And even when you're in radiance, falling back into surrender, and sometimes have another taste of crisis again. So it's an ongoing process, but it is that inexplicable energy that is always there, knowing that if I had the choice, that this is the person that I would spend my life with, and that nothing else will do. That is my devotion. And that's me standing in my truth as to who I am and what I am here to do. So to recap, the fear of love is programmed into us by parenting through scolding, and this is a necessary part, it is just the way that we are programmed. I don't have a recipe for perfect parenting. I've raised 2 daughters, and there's no manual that comes with it. Okay? But it is through our early parenting experience that we start to fear love. And we go into it by choosing to be in isolation or blending in, coping with it in that way. And it is through being triggered by our soulmates and our twin flames to address the issues, ask the questions. Why do I feel like this? Why am I unworthy of love? Why do I believe that love isn't destined for me? And answer those questions, because all the answers are inside yourself. And once I had those answers, I realized that my true being is a being of love, and that my connection with my twin is infinite. And this is me standing in my truth, accepting myself for who I am, devoted to my twin flame union mission, and working at Heart Solutions. And Heart Solutions is here to help and heal, and that is what I'm doing. So if you have any questions about the fear of love, and I think perhaps this would give clarity on why the matrix twin runs, and clarity on why the awakened twin would totally hang on and demand that the matrix twin give them something in return in the way of love or commitment of some kind, wanting to share their life and hanging on to somebody who's not emotionally available, who's not physically available. So have a look at where you are at concerning love. Are you afraid of love? Are you ready to love? And leave a comment. You can contact me on my website, www.heartsolutions.com. Contact me on my email, heartsolutions@gmail.com. You can also contact me on my Facebook at Twin Flame Violet Ray. I still don't have internet where I live. I'm going to the library with my laptop, and I try to manage from there for now. But I'm looking forward to connecting with you as best as I can until I'm back in cyberspace. Light and love, everyone. Thank you for watching my video.